How to start and grow a podcast in 2023. I am Yaswanth. Welcome back to my YouTube channel. In this video, I want to talk everything about starting and growing a podcast in 2023, and also I will share different ways to earn from your podcast. Podcasting is becoming very popular these days. 2016, the number of podcast listeners is very less, but now there were around 400 million plus podcast listeners in the entire world, which means there are huge opportunities for you in this space. See, it is second best after video creation, it is second best after YouTube to earn money, and it is still in the growing stage. So if you can explore it wisely, then ultimately you can become the next big thing in this podcast space. In this video, I will cover everything that you need to know to start and grow a podcast in 2023. I don't want to make this video a huge one. I will cover it simply and I will try to make it short and sweet. First thing, why podcasts are becoming popular? We can assume it in two different ways. The first one is from the creator point of view. So there were many people out there who don't like showing face in the camera. See, like how I'm doing currently, not everyone likes showing their face in camera, showing their face to people, but they can still talk fluently and efficiently. So for those people, podcast is a good option because they don't need to show their face and they don't need to buy a costly camera. They can start the podcast with no budget. So that is one advantage. And from listeners point of view, see, if you're commuting, if you're traveling, then ultimately you might not able to see the video part of anything, or it might be difficult for you to read books while or traveling or while on journey. But podcast is something which you don't need to spend complete attention on, because you can just listen it. You can just plug in your earphones and you can listen while traveling, listen while walking. So that is the beauty of podcast, and the reason why podcasts are becoming popular. If you want to start a podcast, the other important thing is selecting a niche. In podcast, you need to be specific. You need to be specific about your niche. So what niche you're good at. If you're someone who is good at finance, then select that as your niche. If you're someone who is good at lifestyle content, select that as your niche. So it's important to know your niche. It's important to know your area of expertise. That is very important. So once you pick your area of interest, the other question is what equipment you need. Simply, you don't need a costly equipment. Like if I'm making YouTube video, like I need a lot of things. I need a camera, I need mic, I need a lot of connections out there. I need to edit videos, so I need to have video editing software, so many other stuff. But for podcast, audio is the heart. So only thing that you need to have is a quality audio source. So currently I'm using Blue 80. You can also use that because it's something which is very good one. It costs around 10k. I have also added the link in the description. You can check them out. But if you feel like you're starting, then ultimately I will suggest other mics. So there were some collar mics which will also help you. I have also attached the links of mics in the description. You can check them out. Okay to invest at least 1,000 on buying a good mic, because you can get collar mics at 1,000 range. You can find them in the description. So it's important to have a good audio source, because audio is heart of the podcast. And where and how to host your podcast. So you have a mic and you're ready to start your podcast, and what can you do now? See, there is an app called anchor.fm. You can directly download it from your Play Store or App Store. You just need to open that and start record and talk. That's it. It's as simple as that. You just need to have downloaded the app and you need to record the podcast, and if you publish it, it will go live. See, the good thing about Anchor is you don't need to worry about publishing your podcast in multiple platforms, because Anchor takes care of publishing your podcast to multiple platforms. Publish your podcast to platforms like Spotify, Google Podcast, Apple Podcast, and hundreds of other podcast platforms. Important thing is it's free to use. You don't need to pay a single penny to start your podcast and make your podcast live. You just need to open the app, you just give to name and title and start recording. That's it. You're done with the podcast. You don't need to listen to multiple hours of content to know how to start a podcast. It takes a minute to get started. You don't need to worry about any other things, because the anchor.fm app will take care of everything. And now comes the important question. You know how to make your podcast live and you are prepared for everything, but the other question is how to grow as a podcaster, how to make money. So that is an important thing, obviously, because the main reason you started a podcast is to grow, right? Is to make money. See, there are many ways. The first way is by sponsorships. So if your podcast is doing well, brands will contact you to talk about them in your podcast and you will be paid. So this is the best source And the other thing is, if your podcast is really doing well, then ultimately the podcast platforms will contact you to make your podcast exclusive for them. Then they will also pay some money for you. And also you will get many collaborations, and you can also promote products there. You can sell your own products there. There are multiple ways to earn money through your podcast, but you need to be little bit patient after starting your podcast. Start making your episodes and not thinking about earning money in the initial days, at least for 2 to 3 months. See if your podcast is doing well and you are able to attract audience, and ultimately the ways that you can earn money will follow you. So these are the things that you need to know to start and grow your podcast in 2023. All the very best if you're someone who is yet to start your podcast. And please like this video and share it in your network. Also, if you're a new visitor to my channel, please subscribe to my channel. Thank you.